while we're kind of taking a break, guys, from working on our pal Borborgimos, let's take a look at this. Oh, first let's clean this so there's nothing on here. Let's take a look at this. He's done. Gengar is complete. So the most noticeable change from probably when you guys last saw was that I've gone in and painted the eyes, and I've kind of added a bit of shadow to the eyes, as well as the teeth. The teeth have like kind of like a off-white, like bluish grayish tint, and I've lined the eyes and the tongue here. The tongue I'm not quite finished yet. I'd like to kind of create more of a gradient from dark to light with the tongue, and I probably will hit this with some kind of gloss varnish or semi-gloss to make the tongue look kind of gross and wet. But yeah, this is the Gengar Pokemon model that I bought previously, and I'm pretty happy with it. Brush that tongue. Here. Let's, let's lick the chat. This is the only place where you can have the chat get licked by Gengar on all of Twitch. So yeah, the plastic here, the purple, clip that. So the purple here, I've actually sprayed it purple. The original kind of color of the purple is much lighter actually. I went in and sprayed it, although the spray ended up looking kind of more or less like the factory purple anyways, just a little bit darker. And I hit it with some matte varnish, matte top coat, so that it's not as shiny, although you can still see a bit of shine just because of the light is sort of reflecting on it. But it isn't as shiny and plasticky as it once was, which is nice. But the other main reason... Lickigar? Lickitung? Oh my gosh. If they make a Lickitung Pokemon... Well, so I'm not really planning on buying any more Pokemon model kits, but if they release a Snorlax, I'm there. I'm eagerly awaiting a Snorlax. I'll get that one. But yeah, so this model here, it had a lot of big seam lines, like here in the tail was a separate part from the body, and there was this big like gap, or a rather noticeable gap here, and I ended up using Milliput to fill in the gap, which meant that I'd have to color and spray paint the whole thing to make it look the same, because Milliput is like green, and that wouldn't make sense, right? And my initial putty job was not very good. My initial gap filling job was not very good. You could kind of see where I was putting in the putty. So I was tempted to just leave it at that and just be like, man, we'll just fix it up another time. Well, we'll just leave it because this is just this was a fairly inexpensive model just to practice or whatever, right? But I figured I'd probably be super annoyed to see the gap anyway, so I went in and kind of fixed the gap, and now it looks really nice, in my opinion. I'm pretty happy with that. You can't really see too well. It looks more or less like one solid piece, so I'm pretty happy about that. There is a gap here, but that's because you can take off the faceplate and change the face. And again, there was like gaps here. There was like a hole underneath the foot, which I filled in. So yeah, just some minor stuff that I did with this model, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I know Bacon asked if, because Ritsuka is Gengar's Pokemon trainer, how big is Gengar relative to Ritsuka? And yeah, that's about the height difference, which seems pretty realistic to me, I think. So yeah, that's she's a Pokemon trainer with Gengar, I guess. Broken dark eyes, dark haunting eyes. Bacon, no gold tooth. No gold tooth. No to gold tooth. I mean, the option is still open. I still have the option open to do a gold tooth if need be. Oh, there you go. Broken with the lick the chat. That's awesome. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, this was intended to be a fairly quick project. Um, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I had some really good advice from a lot of people in chat, including a little Chook, regarding different kinds of color schemes that I could do with it. But I was like, at the end of the day, I was kind of like, I also want to just finish this really quickly. So I ended up just doing the basic color scheme. Although even that in itself ended up being kind of costly in some respects, because I was like, I don't want to brush on purple. So let's just get some spray paint, and then I had to buy a whole can of spray paint just to do this guy. And then I hit him with some top coat, blah blah blah, and all the gap filling. So it was actually kind of more involved than I thought it was going to be. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with this guy. Let's do one more celebratory lick of the edges of the screen. There we go. There it is. There's the chat. All right, guys. So let's get back to our regular scheduled program.